Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everyone had a great night. Hope you had a night where you slept well and you weren't tossing and turning and weren't pacing the floor. And if you didn't have a good night, I hope you have a better day on today. I hope good news rings your ears on today. I hope good news rings your ears on today. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am live on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. I'm just making sure everything is set up okay. Sorry. Good morning. Good morning. As I said, I hope you had a great night. If you didn't, I hope today is a better day. I hope today is a better day. You are watching You Got This Season 2, Episode 4. Are you willing to do whatever it takes? Are you willing to do whatever it takes? By the way, I'm Shantae Charles, and I teach women how to break free of the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck by, excuse me, by making money out independently of their job and mastering money management. So let's get right into it. Are you willing to do whatever it takes to succeed? Sometimes we want things in life and we'll say, oh, I want this, I want that. But the question is, are you willing to do whatever it takes to get the thing that you want? See, when I lived in Georgia for about 3 years, I living in Georgia for me at that time was a rough patch in life. It was a rough patch. I um, moved to Georgia because I owned a home in Florida and I thought I was going to lose my home to foreclosure. So I moved to Georgia to live with my parents. And for 3 years, I was having a hard time financially for 3 years. Well, luckily, I didn't lose my home to foreclosure. I was able to sell it some years later. Excuse me, you guys, my allergies are bothering me this morning. I was able to sell the home some years later, but for 3 years, I was struggling financially in Georgia. And then I heard about an opportunity to move here to North Dakota, get a job that paid way more than I was making in Georgia, steady income. North Dakota, it would give me the ability to move out of my parents' home, become independent and financially self-sufficient again. But I didn't know anyone in North Dakota. At the time, I didn't know anyone in North Dakota. North Dakota is cold, but I had an opportunity to either stay in Georgia, struggle financially, not know when I'll be able to move out of my parents' house, get my own place, and become independent and self-sufficient, or take the job opportunity that was offered to me, pack up, and move cross country to a place I had never been, a place where I knew no one, but I had the opportunity to become self-sufficient and independent. For me, it was an easy decision because I wanted to be independent. I wanted to be self-sufficient. It was an easy decision. For some people, it might have been, and for some people that I talk to that are having a hard time, it's a hard decision for them. oh, I have family and what have you. Excuse me. It's not long ago I had a summit, moved to North Dakota Summit because North Dakota is still a very good place to live. We have high wages here. Cost of living is low as far as housing, and your quality of life is good. The crime here is low, not a lot of crime or what have you. Um, and when I hear people saying that they're struggling, they're having a hard time, I say move to North Dakota. Uh, Last month, I even had a move to North Dakota summit to give people that have reservations about moving here, to give them some insight from people who have moved here and have been here 5 years or longer and have thrived, have been able to buy a home, have been able to start their own business. I've been able to do those things, but I wanted to have them also hear from other people that look like them, because a lot of times, we as Black people, sometimes because of the history of what has gone on in this country, we're afraid to move to a place that is majority white, and we are visibly the minority. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are visibly the minority. So I wanted to give some firsthand insight from individuals that look like us, to let them know, the people that are considering moving here or are struggling, to let them know you're going to be fine moving here. Say, this is what I've accomplished since I've moved here. This is how life has improved. And some people have decided that they're going to move here. The summit had 20 people registered, and about, I think, 13 or 15 people actually showed up. Out of those people that showed up, 4 people decided they're actually going to relocate here. I've had people say that they've started looking for a job. They've started looking for movers or what have you. So I'm excited about that. When I moved here 13 years ago, I never in a million years would have dreamed that I would be helping other people relocate here. But I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it because the things that I went through, struggling financially or what have you, it wasn't in vain. Yes, the link to watch the Move to North Dakota Summit is still available. You can go to my Stan store and get that. I'll drop a link in the comments. Give me 1 second. I'll drop that over. You can still get the replay. So if you are struggling financially, cost of living is through the roof where you live at, you can purchase the Move to North Dakota Summit, and that is it's the replay. You can watch the replay to give you some more details about moving here and the opportunities here or whatever. You can also get the Move to North Dakota toolkit, and the toolkit gives you, oh, excuse me, the toolkit is a resource guide. The resource guide, it gives you information on the different cities, the major cities here in North Dakota: Bismarck, Grand Forks, Minot, Williston, Dickinson, and Fargo. And it's going to give you information as far as the rental companies in those cities, childcare facilities, schools, hospitals, what have you. All of that information, it gives you the information to how to contact the housing authority, because I know some people may be on Section 8 and you may want to port your voucher over here, but I'll tell you, if you come here on Section 8, you won't be on Section 8 long if you have a mind to be self-sufficient, because there are jobs here, and not just any jobs. There are high-paying jobs here. You can become independent, financially independent and self-sufficient if you have a mind to do so. So if you want to get the toolkit and the replay, you can. I've dropped the link in the comments. excuse me, so you can do that. But are you willing to do whatever it takes to succeed in life? Are you willing to maybe not move here to North Dakota, but move to wherever is an option to live your best life? No one is coming to save us. No one's coming to save any of us. No one's going to give you anything. And if they give you something, is it really worth anything? Is it really worth anything? Even with getting like food stamps and Section 8 and what have you, when you get those things, it's good that we live in a country that if you need help financially, you can get help, you can get those services, but those services, they really don't help you get ahead in life for the most part. Because if you're getting Section 8, you're getting food stamps or what have you, when you get those things, if you make the slightest bit of increase in your income, what happens immediately? Your rent goes up, your food stamps get cut off, and so forth and so on. They really don't give you an opportunity to get an increase, stack your money, so then you get off of the system. You can really get off of the system. If you make the slightest bit of $200 or $300 more than you would normally make, it's kind of a setback. So a lot of people have the attitude, oh, I'm not going to do such and such because they're going to cut my food stamps or they're going to cut my Section 8, instead of having the mindset of, I'm going to do such and such, and that would allow me to make a certain amount of money, so I won't even need these things anymore. I can get completely free and become completely self-sufficient. Are you willing to do whatever it takes to live the life that you dream? To live the life that you dream. Hard work is going to take hard work. It's going to take some sacrifices, and it's going to take dedication. Now, when I started my non-medical in-home care agency, I literally worked 3 months straight, 7 days a week, because I didn't have money to hire anybody, and I didn't have credit to be able to get a loan from the bank to get money. So I had to work the business on my own. I had to sacrifice being away from my children for long periods of time, but in the long run, it paid off, because it allowed us to get on the other side of needing food stamps, Medicaid, all those things. It allowed us to get on the other side of that. And I went from making $12 an hour to making over 6 figures in less than 12 months, 15 employees. But I was willing to do whatever it took. Are you willing to move? I was watching a man on YouTube yesterday. He lives in Japan, and he used to work for Apple. Good morning. Oh, thank you so much. It says, good morning, Ms. Shantae. Your outreach to get people moving in a better direction is so needed. You are the right person for this assignment. Have a great day. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate it. I was watching this guy, black gentleman. He lives in Japan. He's been living there for 7 years. 7 years. He used to work for Apple, and something happened. He got fired from Apple. So, make a long story short, he decided he was going to move to Japan. He first said he was going to Texas to get some kind of teaching certification so that he could teach in Japan. But his friend said to him, why don't you just go ahead and go? You want to move to Japan or what have you, go ahead and go. And he up and moved to Japan. And he's been living there for 7 years. For 7 years. He did whatever he needed to do to get the better life that he wanted. I was watching another gentleman. He lives in France. And this was a white guy. He lived here in the States. He had invested in a tech startup company with some friends. Didn't go well. He ended up in debt. Had to file for bankruptcy because the tech startup, it didn't make any money. The company went bust or what have you. He was in a bunch of debt. He filed for bankruptcy. But oh, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Um, he ended up filing for bankruptcy, and he was saying that he was kind of like devastated about filing for bankruptcy because bankruptcy, or maybe you don't know, when you file for bankruptcy, it stays on your credit for 7 years. For 7 years, it stays on your credit. So here in the United States, you're going to have a major setback. Nobody's going to want to sell you a home. Nobody's going to want to sell you a car on credit. Nobody's going to hardly want to rent you an apartment because you have bad credit. America runs on the credit system. So he decided that he was going to move to France. He said moving to France was the best thing he could have ever did for his financial life and for his life period, because when you have no financial problems, you have less stress. You have less stress. You're not worried at night about how you're going to pay for this, pay for that. But he moved to France, and he's been living there 7 years. He recently got his citizenship in France, but he was saying moving to France was the best decision he ever made. At first, he was worried about was he going to qualify for a visa because he filed for bankruptcy in America. France didn't even care about that. They didn't care. It was okay. Do you have the income to meet the qualifications to live here in France? Because most of the time when you move to when you move out of the country, of course you have to get a visa and then apply for residency, but you have to qualify by having a certain income to be able to live in that country, because they don't want you on whatever that country's social services programs are. They don't want you coming over there sucking up, taking off of the system, taking away from the citizens that live in that country. And he said he was making $2,300 a month. He was making $2,300 a month, and his bills back here in the state were $2,100 a month. Now, this is before he filed for bankruptcy. He went to France to do some work or what have you. He was making $2,300 a month. His bills back here in the States were $2,100 a month. So he was barely getting by. He was just eating whatever he could get in France. He had an apartment in France, but he got the apartment because he did some volunteer work in West Africa, and one of the people who was head of one of the agencies, they had an apartment and they let him stay in the apartment for free. Otherwise, he don't know where he would have been living at. But after he did some soul searching and he started thinking about it, he said to himself, I'm going to file for bankruptcy. I'm going to file for bankruptcy because that gets rid of me having to make payments or what have you, and I'll just live here in France. So he filed for bankruptcy. He did his paperwork or what have you, and he was able to stay in France on a permanent basis. And that completely changed his financial situation. Now, I'm not advocating file for bankruptcy. You do your own research and do what's best for you if you find yourself in that situation. But my point is, are you willing to do whatever it takes to get the life that you want? We deserve a good life. We deserve a good life, especially, well, everybody deserves a good life. But if you are a believer in the Most High, you say that you are a Christian, that God is your source, God wants you to live your best life. He wants you to live your best life. But we have to do whatever it takes to get what God has for us. It is not going to fall out of the sky. We have to put our hands to the plow. We have to be willing to work. We have to be willing to work for it. Will you go where you need to go to get what God has for you? Will you, maybe you don't need to move. Maybe you just need to start your business. You know you're living paycheck to paycheck. Maybe you can't move because for whatever reason, but you know you have an idea. You know you have a skill. But for whatever reason, you're sitting on that skill. You're sitting on that idea because you're afraid. You're afraid what people are going to think, especially family and friends that know you. Oh, now suddenly you're doing such and such when you've just been your whole life. Sometimes family and friends don't see the value in you because they just see you as their family member or their friend. They don't see the value, but who cares? You know what you can do. Every one of us, God has given every single one of us a talent. Every single one of us. And God has anointed you to do something. Whatever that talent is, God has anointed you to do it and to do it well. Now, will you start off doing it well right away? Maybe not. Maybe not. But over time, you hone in on your craft and you get better and better and better. When I first started this YouTube channel, was I nervous about it? Absolutely. But I had to get over the fact that, hey, YouTube is going to have trolls. You know, you're going to have some people that's just ignorant trolls or what have you. Somebody's going to have something to say. But you know what I said to myself? Go ahead, troll on. I really don't care, because what your stupid self don't realize when you're on here trolling, wasting your time, you look crazy because you're an adult, more than likely an adult that has nothing better to do with your life. You're wasting your life away by trolling somebody online. Second of all, by you commenting and trolling, you're helping the algorithm. You're helping me get more views because you've commented on my video. So the algorithm is in my favor. So go ahead. Go ahead. Thank you so much. Thank you for helping me get the word out of what I'm trying to say. And thank you for helping me get a check from you too. Sometimes we gotta have a we don't care attitude and forget what anybody's gonna say. We gotta have a I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't care what anybody says. This is what I'm doing. And push forward. Push forward and get it done. And don't worry about, oh, this may go wrong, that may go wrong. When I started my non-medical in-home care agency, I had all the thoughts of, what if this happens? Because I had to pay for unemployment insurance. I had to pay for workman's comp up front. And it wasn't cheap. And I didn't have the money really. I had to find the money, if you know what that means. And the thoughts in my head was, what if this goes wrong? What if that goes wrong? What if I don't get an influx of clients? I had to get out of that mindset. I had to start telling myself, what's the best that can happen? Excuse me, what's the best that can happen? What is life going to look like when this business gets up and off the ground? What is life going to look like when I can hire? And I wasn't even thinking about 15 employees down the road. I was thinking to myself, what will life look like when I get one employee? If the state is paying me 15 grand for one client and I'm working this client by myself, ooh, baby, how is life going to look when I have somebody that can work for me? And I'm making more money because I can work a client and the person who works for me can make work a client. What is life going to look like? Then when I got one person to work for me, I started thinking, oh, what is life going to look like when I have 3 people working for me? When I have 3 people working for me, I can take on a client part-time. I'll be making money even when I'm not working a client. I started thinking about what's the best can happen. What's the best that can happen? I didn't concentrate on what may go wrong and this and that. What's the best that can happen is what I started thinking. And then when I started training people how to start their own non-medical in-home care agency, I wasn't thinking about, oh, what if nobody takes my class? What if nobody shows up? What if nobody's successful? I started saying to myself, I'm going to share my story about how I took my $12 skill, turned it into a 6-figure business, doing non-medical in-home care. And then And how after I started my non-medical in-home care agency, I realized that you don't even need a medical background to do this. Yes, I was a certified nurse and certified nurse and assistant when I started my business, but you don't need any experience in the medical field to start a non-medical in-home care agency. You don't have to be a certified nursing assistant. You don't have to be a nurse. You don't have to be a doctor. Anyone could do this. I started telling my story to other women. And what happened? Someone took my class. Well, plenty of people took my class, but one particular person took my class. And she did everything I told her. And she worked at her business. It was her and a partner she had. She worked at the business. Her partner, after a certain period of time, her partner quit. Said, I can't keep doing this. It's not taking off yet. Now, that hadn't even been a whole year. But eventually, she, after the partner left, the person, she had 30 employees and did $1 million in revenue. Okay. I took my story, my pain, told my story, and it turned into purpose. It helped someone else change their financial situation and rewrite their story, their family story. She's a mother. She has 6 kids. And when she started her non-medical in-home care agency, she was working at a grocery store. She had no medical experience, but she was able to do it. But she put in the work. She knew it was not going to come overnight. She put it into work. Oh, thank you. Turning my $12 skill into a 6-figure business is the fiercest quote I've heard in a while. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And a lot of people, I remember years ago when I first started telling people that, hey, I used to be on food stamps. I used to be on food stamps, Medicaid, and I was able to get off of that. I remember an associate, someone that I went to high school with, she was like, I can't believe you tell people you used to be on food stamps. I wouldn't tell anybody that. Why? Why am I ashamed? Why am I ashamed? Now, I would be more ashamed if, however many years later, I'm still on food stamps because I did not use the skills and the knowledge that God gave me, that I did not put my hands to the plow to change my situation, that I'm just sitting around waiting for things to change. I would be more ashamed of that if I'm raising my children on that. And I'm not knocking anybody that you had a financial setback in life. Like I said, it's good that we live in a country that if something happens, you can get help. But what I am saying, that we don't have to stay there. These programs were not designed for us to make them lifelong programs. Our lifelong way of survival. It was not meant for that. It was a way for you to get back on your feet. So no, I am not ashamed, because I know by telling my story, other people are going to say, if she did it, I can do it too. I may not start a non-medical in-home care agency, but hey, what skills do I have? What talents do I have? What are people willing to pay me for? What are people willing to pay me for? Now, I realize that everyone is not going to start a non-medical in-home care agency. Some places it takes money. Some places more money than other places. Here in North Dakota, it's not that complicated. It costs you something, but it doesn't cost a lot. If you live in Florida, you gotta do a lot of things because Florida has a lot of scammers. It's just more complicated. It can be done, but you're gonna need some money. You're gonna need some money. In certain places, you're gonna need some money to get started. And I know everyone does not have a lot of people don't have the money to take my course because it's expensive to some. And then some people, if they take the course, they don't have the money they need to get started. to pay for the licenses that some states require, to pay for the insurance that's required, to pay for workman's comp, to pay for unemployment. It can be expensive to get started. I know that. So what I am offering to help you on your journey to monetize your skills is I'm offering a free 6-day challenge, monetize your genius. Now, it's a free 6-day challenge. It's going to be live. It's going to be virtual. And this challenge is going to help you figure out what skills, what unique talents you already possess that you can monetize. What can you package and sell? We all have something that we know and do that we can package and sell that is a solution to someone else's problem. I don't care if it's housekeeping. Maybe you do so good of a job cleaning up a bathroom. Maybe you make pound cakes, or maybe you make I can make a mean, I mean a mean, put your foot in it, homemade pot pie. I mean homemade crust, everything. If push come to shove, I'll be hustling pot pies because people love to eat. And I know my pot pie is thebomb.com. My point is we all have something that we do well and that people are willing to pay us for. So I want to invite you to join the free monetize your genius 6-day challenge. The challenge is designed to help you uncover your unique skills and talents, to package them in the right way and start making money from what you already do and love. And let me tell you, you don't have to be great at it. You don't have to be great at it. You just have to be willing to work at it. Greatness will come after repetition, after being consistent, after you figure out what's working well, what's not working well, and eliminate what's not working well. So you don't have to be good at it. Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Carrie. Good to see you on again. Good to see you on again. Good morning. Again, the Monetize Your Genius 6-day challenge is completely free. It's completely free. So I'm hoping to see you guys there. Click the link in the description box to sign up. If you are on my email list, if you came to the Move to North Dakota Summit, check your email because you will have gotten an email to opt in to continue getting emails from me, and it gives you information about how to join the Move to North Dakota Summit, how to join the free Monetize Your Genius 6-day challenge. So check your email for that. But again, it is completely free. I cannot stress that enough because it's free. So there's no excuses for if you're living paycheck to paycheck, if you're struggling, you're not knowing how you're going to get some money, legal money, to get out of the situation that you're in. There is no excuse for you not to be in the place, okay? If you know somebody who's struggling, living paycheck to paycheck, having a hard time, let them know. Send them the information. Go ahead, tell lottie-dottie everybody that they want to be there at the free Monetize Your Genius 6-day challenge. I'll be guiding you step by step through the process. And you want to make sure you get on the list, click the link. You don't want to be relying just on being notified via Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn, because we all know the algorithm sometimes is not in our favor. Sometimes you click on to be subscribed to someone's channel, or you turn on your notifications and you're not notified of anything. So click the link in the description box. If you're on Facebook, it's in the description box. On YouTube, it's in the description box, and LinkedIn is there as well. Click the link so that you can go ahead and sign up, and you'll be notified when we are going to be the time and the place. It's starting on Monday. It's starting on Monday, March 10th. It's going to be in the evening, Monday through Friday, and on Saturday, we're going to finish up Saturday morning. So go ahead and click the link. I want to thank you guys for watching. If it's your first time coming on, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope you return. For all of you who have been loyal and come on a regular basis, I appreciate it. I love all of y'all. Thank y'all for your support. I really appreciate it. Y'all just don't know. When I was sick, I had people reaching out, leaving comments, checking on me and my family. I'm going to say this. Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for the gift of the free workshop. I appreciate that. Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. And I hope it encouraged you to make a bold move, whether it's coming here to North Dakota or wherever. I hope it encouraged you to make a bold move. Now, I lost my train of thought. Ooh, what was I getting ready to say? Sorry, guys. My nose is running. I lost my train of thought. Mm, sorry. What was I about to say? I don't know. Must not have been important. If I find out when I come on tomorrow, if I remember, I'll say it then. But I know what it was. Let me tell you, when you get ready to launch out into the deep and you really get serious about the assignment that God has given you, do not be surprised when you are attacked by the enemy. Do not be surprised. When I decided I was going to get serious. Now I've been on Facebook for years, but I just started going live and posting "You Got This" on Facebook. For those of you who have been following me a while on YouTube, you know I've been on YouTube for a minute now, doing this. But when I got serious and was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and I mapped out my plan, all hell broke loose. Okay, first my husband came home with the flu. And my husband, it didn't really take him out. He was down a couple days and then he was back to normal. Then I got the flu. Sick about a week. Literally, as soon as I got over the flu, I had strep throat. I had strep throat. And I did not know I had strep throat because I never had it before. My throat was just sore a couple days and I thought, yes, it is sabotage. You are absolutely right. I didn't know I had strep throat. My throat was sore a couple days, and I thought it was just sinus. I was like, okay, no big deal, sinus, what have you. And then in the middle of the night, my throat was like feeling like it was closing. After my fourth child, I developed an allergy sensitivity to peanuts. I cannot eat peanuts. And my tongue and my mouth started feeling like it feels when I have nuts. So I was like, something's not right. I know I haven't eaten anything with nuts. I had to go to the emergency room. And thank God I went to the emergency room because the doctor was like, after they ran the test and whatever, she was like, we took a wager. And everybody bet that you weren't going to have strep throat except for me because you didn't exhibit any of the symptoms of strep throat except for having a sore throat. And you do have strep throat. And I said, thank God I came to the emergency room because I didn't know that if you leave strep throat untreated, it can have an effect on your heart. So the doctor told me I had strep throat. Then they sent another doctor in to tell me the importance of finishing up all the antibiotic because if I don't, all this stuff would happen. Okay, so my husband had the flu. I had the flu. Got better. The next week I had strep throat. The next week after that, one kid had the flu. Now I have 4 children. All of them did not get the flu at the same time. One kid got better. Then the next week, the next kid got the flu. So on and so on. Then after that, then the stomach virus blew through here. Thank God my husband and I didn't get it. All 4 kids. One kid got the stomach virus, got better after missing almost another week of school. Then another kid got the stomach virus. I was like, when I called the school to tell them that my kids were, I said, hey, how many kids around there sick? Is sickness going around? Because my kids have never missed this much time from school, and they have never been sick this much. What is going around? It's got to be something. Oh yeah, it's just been going from classroom to classroom. I'm like, oh my goodness. But point is, as soon as you get serious about whatever it is that you're stepping out on faith, launching out into the deep to do, attack's gonna come, sabotage gonna come, but you gotta be determined. You gotta be determined that I'm gonna push forward, and you may have to be down a while. When I had strep throat, my throat was on fire. It was terrible. And at one point I was like, you know what? I need to make some videos. I'm gonna get back on YouTube. But my body was like, no, you need to relax and rest. So I made some posts explaining what was going on. And everybody was like, okay, fine. Get well. We're praying for you or what have you. But I was determined that once I got better, hey, we got to get back at it. We got to get back at it. I have this summit to run. And now I gotta put on this challenge. I gotta do this challenge because people are waiting for me. People are waiting for you. Somebody needs you. You may not believe that. You might say, what do I have to offer? You have something to offer. Somebody is waiting to hear your story. Somebody is waiting for you to tell your story so they can say, she overcame, she turned her life around. I can do the same. I can do the same thing. They're waiting for you. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of y'all support. Until next time, be blessed. Have a prosperous future. I will see you guys on tomorrow morning. If you are on YouTube, make sure to check out the next video. Thank you. Have a great day. Oh, if you've been watching a while, but you haven't decided to make this thing official, hit the subscribe button. Let's get in a real relationship. Hit the subscribe button. Don't treat me like no side chick. Don't treat me like no side chick. Hit the subscribe button and let's get in a real relationship. All right, y'all. Till next time, have a good day. See you in the morning.